So in '94, you guys released the album Between a Rock and a Hard Place. Classic album featuring production from T-Ray, Buck Wild, Rock Wilder. Now, at the time, you guys wanted to get Pete Rock, Primo,
Yep.
Large Professor. The label said, y'all don't have money for that. We're going to give you T-Ray, right? And you guys said, let's get the guy that produced You Can't Front, Jack, right?
Right.
And, that's when your A&R Reef, he called Buck Wild because he knew him. And you guys also met Rock Rated that same day.
Yes, indeed.
So what was your mindset like going into making that album?
None. No mindset at all. Like, this is the thing about doing this, first time, it's nerves and stuff like that, but like the process of it was dope. Like everything of what we did in the beginning was like, how we met everybody. Like, so even having this meeting with Reef is like, so like, even he laughed at us when we was like Lost Pro and Primo and them. But he understood why we would say that, because they were the hot producers at the time. But when he introduced T-Ray to us, T-Ray was working with Double X Posse. I was more inclined to be the one to do a lot of the business. So I was interested in a lot of these things, even with meeting T-Ray. So Reeve told me T-Ray was at a video editing session for Double X Posse, but the song they had, Head Cracker. So I met him there, and the song, still to this day, I love it. And he was mixing, not going to be able to do it. But like, to meet him in that atmosphere showed me that T-Ray was just not a producer. He cared about what he was doing, even though he's doing a job. Being a producer, like even the way that we was introduced to him, he was a producer for hire. But then I started doing my research on him and his affiliation with Soul Assassins. And he had a career outside of hip hop with a heavy metal group called Helmet. And that's how he really blew up. But had this other career, but he had a group, when he's from, I want to say North Carolina, South Carolina. But T-Ray was...
I think it's South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina, right. I think I want to say Columbia. But he was well known for his record collection, especially in New York. A lot of people knew T-Ray had a lot of records. So when we got to his crib, I was like, damn, he got he had a big ass basement, but there was like a sea of records all over but it organized and everything. So for him to work with us, even though we didn't know him as a producer like that, what he was making for us, he didn't make for us. Like, we sat with T-Ray for a lot of those beats he made, like, we was with him. But he would pretty much talk to us like, what, I could hear Todd, hey man, what y'all about? What type of hip hop you listen to? Da, 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 da. So like, this country dude from, he had a ponytail at the time. And this is where culture comes in. We couldn't question what he was doing. Like, why were we working with him, with his white boy, and none of that? Like, never, ever, ever. These are not thoughts you have. But we was listening to what he was making, like, damn, he gave us joints for our record. Mm-hmm. Because we would sit with him, we would spend the night at his crib, watched him do all this work. I made What's Up Now motherfucker beat with him. Me and him together. He manipulated everything, but like getting it together and the structure of it, like we did it together. And when you hear Tame on What's Up Now motherfucker in the beginning, he's screaming because we was doing it before we did that song. We were doing some other song and it wasn't coming out right. So Reed was like, yo, why don't y'all play that beat that y'all made the other day? Tame was like, what beat? I said, I went over his house that day. You didn't want to get in the limo service. And we made a beat that day. And Reed was like, yo, T-Ray, Todd, play it. Man, when that shit came on, it ain't even played 4 bars. Tame was losing his mind. He was like, yo, fuck that. Yo, We put the other song. We doing this one. So we instantly took the beat off with that What's Up Now beat on, and we wrote right there. So that's why when I'm starting, Tame in the background screaming because he was just so hyped over that beat. Even when he rhymed over the beat, he was hyped up. So like T-Ray pretty much had a blueprint for us of tracks that we didn't realize we actually needed and could actually get. And for them to sound like that, it was so original. It wasn't like everybody else's records that came out at that time. And we talking about we are amongst heavyweights when we put this record out. But what made the album work was when we made Wrong Side of the Tracks. Even when we made the beat, like we picked out the records and we were telling Tyler, yo, we don't care who used it. Third Bass, Dub Rock, Ninth Wonder. The song Ninth Creation. We knew how many people used it. Bubblegum. We're gonna use it, and once we put everything with it. But the thing that made that spiced it up was that Jack Bruce record with that horn. And we was like, damn. I mean, when it came on, we was like, whoa. T-Ray he brought it back. He kept playing it. We was like, yo, please loop that now, loop it now. And then we found the other horn stab on something else. And when we sat back and listened to it, when it was finished, before we even thought it, so Lord Jamar from Brand New Man made the original version of Wrong Side of the Tracks. Anybody right now listening to the sound of my voice, you can go on YouTube right now because you can't buy. We had a Lost Files album that came out, all the demo songs we did on Smoke On Records, but they sold out. So you can't buy that on vinyl no more. But if you go on YouTube, put in Artifacts demo, Lord Jamar, you're going to hear a whole different version of Wrong Side of the Tracks.
And he was on the hook too.
Yeah, look, same. And Jamar did. So the hook for Wrong Side of the Tracks, Lord Jamar wrote that hook. He said the hook.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we couldn't clear the sample. So when we had to release the song, they told us we got to change the beat. And I gave them a chance to change the beat, but they was on tour as far as Brand New Me. So we changed the beat. When you hear the song, you determine what y'all got today is the only version of Wrong Side of the Track for y'all. So when you hear the song, you hear the difference of what y'all know it to be and not to be. But yes, Lord Jamar did the first version of Wrong Side of the Tracks.
Wait, did you guys re-record it at all, or it just beat mapped it?
Yeah, we and I told him like, yo, like we gonna re-record the song, but on this beat. If they wouldn't have been on tour, Lord Jamar would have been on the Wrong Side of the Tracks song, as but would have been different tracks. So
that's crazy, man. So, come on with the Get Down, right? Buck Wild. What was it like when he played that beat for you guys? Because that's your guys' like most successful song, pretty much, right?
Besides Wrong Side, like when we met Buck that night in the studio and we met Raider. Buck he played a couple of tracks, but he made that beat in front of us. He made Come On to Get Down right there. So he made it, but he went home and perfected it and everything. But we agreed to the beat right there with the day we met him. Raider was with Buck because a lot of the records that Buck was making, Raider did cuts on them. So whether it's us, OC, when you listen to OC's album, a lot of the cuts on that record was Raider. I think Ozone, that's Rock Raider on that. But because Buck did the track, Raider was already there. And that's how Raider began to DJ with us on tour. So we knew when he told us he was DJing for Showbiz and AG, we were like, how you on tour with us though? Like doing these scratches? Like, no, y'all good. And Raider was there with us. All the cuts on Artifacts music was done by Raider up until Dynamite Soul Remix. After that, we had got Chaos to be our DJ because Raider was about to be in the DMC battle, and he won. And he was on his way. And rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to him as well.